baby, drill!
Hi, this is Miles Grant at the National Wildlife Federation with your weekly climate capsule. Starting out with a shout out to our friends at One Sky, partners on the Earth Day revolution this year. It's Earth Day's 40th anniversary and we're calling for congressional action on clean energy and climate legislation. Well, up first in the climate news this week, there's an endangered species at Glacier National Park. It's the park's namesake glaciers. 2 more have melted away, leaving the park with just 25 named glaciers left. And an ecologist with the U.S. Geological Survey says the rest of the park's named glaciers could be gone as soon as the end of this decade. And that's not just an environmental risk, it's an economic one as well, because that glacial melt feeds streams and rivers that feed the park's whitewater rafting and fishing businesses. And in that area, tourism's a $1 billion a year business. Well, speaking of big money, how'd you like to keep nearly $2 trillion from Iran's coffers? That's how much we could save on oil imports from Iran, according to the Center for American Progress, if Congress acts on clean energy and climate legislation. That adds up to $100 million a day, going not to Iran, but to clean energy and energy-efficient technology, if we make the right investments, and if Congress acts in 2010. Well, as usual, I'm joined by Dirty, the global warming denying sock puppet, who gets all his climate news from ExxonMobil commercials.
At the first Earth Day, they were all worried about global cooling. What next?
You know, it's amazing how global warming deniers will ignore an entire generation of scientific research and reach back into the 1970s to pull out that one global cooling tidbit to try to pretend that global warming doesn't exist. I mean, it's like saying the Starland Vocal Band's the best band of all time because they won Best New Artist in 1977.
They were! And George Will says back in the day, all the environmental alarmists were worried about a new ice age.
But were they really? I wonder.
Global cooling! Dynamite!
Global cooling. You know, only a few scientific research papers are calling for global cooling. Most of those are saying that air pollution is going to block out all the sunlight. But you know what? I bet this groovy new Clean Air Act is going to help with that.
Sure! Up your nose with a rubber hose, Mr. Cutter!
Oh, you love that show, don't you, Mr. Horshack?
I sure do!
Well, you know what? I think global warming is going to be the big new scientific trend. That's what all the scientists are saying, and if I had to place my bet about the big new trend in 2010, that would be it.
I'd place my bet on the Starland Vocal Band.
Again with the Starland Vocal Band.
Sky rockets in flight! Afternoon delight! Maybe I was wrong on both counts.
Yeah, I think we were wrong on both counts about that hair, too, but I got rid of mine. What's your excuse?
What do you mean? I'm a timeless classic, like mood rings.
You know, I finally know what you and George Will have in common. Bad haircuts. Well, speaking of Earth Day flashbacks, here's a question for you. What organization was created in 1970, the same year as that first Earth Day celebration, to protect America's environment and public health? If you think you know the answer, take our Earth Day quiz. It's all part of our Earth Day Revolution celebration. You can also sign our Declaration of Energy Independence. Well, if you want to keep up on all the latest climate news, subscribe at wildlifepromise.org. Thanks for watching this week's National Wildlife Federation Climate Capsule.